there, this video will instruct you how to make a snowman ornament, and we're using the feather design from the Christmas mini flower bundle. So you're going to set the project up according to the instruction document at the beginning of this video. It is also available on my Facebook page, PhotoFabPaperFlowers, in the photo album 2022 Crafting Happy Hour instructions. You're going to need a 2.8-inch styrofoam ball. So I picked up a 6-pack of these at my local craft store, Michael's. Or you can order them online, but I used the size 2.8 inches. You're going to need a piece of ribbon, 13.5 inches long, approximately. So I'm going to cut mine. And I'm using a buffalo plaid, like the red and black plaid, just because the hats that I got also have that on them. So if you're going to use a hat, a felt hat, I purchased these on Amazon in a pack, and it is available. I'll add the link to the description of this video. So that's why I chose to use the same type of ribbon. You can always remove this ribbon and replace it with a different color. Okay, so for the hat, we're going to set that to the side so it fits perfectly on the 2.8 inch. So the first thing we're going to do is attach our ribbon. So I like to glue a piece down. So we're going to add a little bit of hot glue. This is very similar to the Grinch ornament I made, which is also available here on YouTube. And then you create the loop. And we need a long enough loop because we have to cut through the top of our snowman hat. And then I add some additional glue to the other side. Now these are, I'm not sure of the name, but they're used to stick in styrofoam, like on a wreath. You can also use an ornament hook, but these are super sturdy, so that's why I like to use them. We're just going to cut it down, and we're just going to secure our ribbon just a little bit more. Just watch the little pieces go flying. Like that one did. And with the ribbon, and in the Grinch video, I do show you how I use the ornament hook. I just like to press it down in the middle of the ribbon just so you have extra peace of mind, keeping that ribbon in place, and then just press it all the way into your styrofoam ball. Now you can add a second one if you feel a little bit more secure, but I think that will hold it perfectly. And plus we have it glued down, so you're all good. I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue right there. Alright, so now that we have our ornament started, the second part of it is to style our leaves. So I already have a pile styled, but basically it's all the same size that we're using, and we're just going to cut off the petals. So I do stack, I think it's 5 of these I have, one on top of the other, just so I can just cut them all at one time, because the bottom really doesn't matter where we're cutting off the petal. And it's just to make it individual petals. You can also slice the petals if you wanted to, once you have the size noted in the table at the beginning of the video. I just cut them as the mini flowers. Next thing you need to do is on your flower shaping mat, we're going to take a little bit larger metal ball stylus tool. So they come in a set of 4 and has a different size metal ball at the tip. And we're just going to pretend there's a line down the center, and we're just going to color back and forth. And then at the bottom, I stir it. And then you can either come up from the bottom, so you're doing like a V, or you can come down from the top. So it's shaping our petal, so it's no longer flat. It has a curve to it. Again, we're going to pretend there's that line down. We're going to go down the left side, coloring back and forth at an angle, stir at the bottom, and then you can come up the other side. I find that's the easiest. And we'll finish out these. I do have some extra ones, because I had cut some extra leaves because I wasn't sure, or petals, how many I needed originally. So again, imagine your imaginary line, color down the one side, stir at the bottom, and then come up the other side. A little bit of an arm workout. You don't need a super lot of petals because we did use some larger petals. And we used all one size, excuse me. Where the Grinch, I did use multiple sizes, just because we have a hat on our snowman. Now you don't have to necessarily do a hat, and if you weren't going to do a hat, I would definitely cut your ribbon a little bit smaller. Alright, so now that all of our petals are styled, we're going to hold our ball and we're going to make a line or a dot right in the very bottom. So you can either use a marker or you can use a pencil. It really doesn't matter. If I can get the marker lid off. And that's going to be our line to help us glue our petals on. So now we're just going to start adding our petals to cover up the entire styrofoam ball. So I just like to hold it on the left side. Now I am right-handed. And we're going to add glue covering the entire petal. So just like how we embossed it or shaped the petal, that's how I add my glue. Alright, so now we're just going to go down to the very bottom. We're going to put our point of our petal there and glue it to our styrofoam ball. So now we're just going to go all the way around, going to that point. I don't worry about attaching glue to the little sides here. It's mostly just down the center. And we're going to overlap our next petal. So go the tip of the petals right at that marker. So we did kind of cover up, but I can still see where it's at. And we're using white. Of course, this is Nina Bright White 65-pound cardstock. You can purchase it on Amazon. And I do have it in my Amazon storefront. Or it's available in Walmart. But I like to buy the 250 pack. Again, go right up to the point. And we're overlapping our petals. The hardest part for me is keeping it semi-even going all the way around. So if you do go up at a hill, it's okay. Okay, go to your point, and we're overlapping. So our curl, it's going to take the shape of our ball. Again, go right up to the point. You are overlapping the last petal. And that's what the bottom looks like so far. We're just going a first layer all the way around. So just keep gluing. Promise it's gonna be cute. Okay, you can go up to your point, your dot that you made, cover up your last petal halfway. And we keep rotating it around. And I use 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11 to cut my petals. So I was able to get 2 of them on 1 sheet. So it is 5 petals. Again, go up to the point, and you're covering up part of the last petal. Just keep adding your glue. And it is approximately 3 layers. So the first layer will be the most petals just because we're at the bottom and we wanted to make sure it's completely covered all the styrofoam. Again, go right up to the center, and that will cover your last section that was open. So that's what it should look like. I know it's super hard. I'm sorry because of the white on white, but we're making a snowman. All right, we'll take our next petal. So it's easy as if you style a whole bunch of petals, that way you have them, because maybe not every time you do it as even, so you may need more or less. So I always make sure I have a little bit more. All right, now for our second row, we're just gonna go up a little bit in between the last petals. So it's about 1 inch above the last layer. So this is usually where I start to go crooked. And that's okay. Again, you're adding glue to the entire petal. So not difficult at all to make. Okay, again, go in between. You will overlap slightly with your last petal. And press it down. So though a snowman isn't furry like our Grinch was and with the green, this has a nice design, a little bit of texture for our snowman, and I like the shape of the petal. Okay, again, we're going to try and keep it even. We're going to just go in between and try and keep it lined up. So you can see already I probably wasn't even with my first layer. And you may be able to get away with 2 of them, but if you are selling them, I would definitely recommend covering the entire styrofoam ball. So the Nina Bright White has a nice creamy color to it. So I am just going around. So they don't have to be as overlapped as your first ones, just because now we're further up on the ball. And we have a nice base for our first layer. So again, I just add glue to the entire petal. I don't get all those edges on the side, the fur. Or fur for our snowman. Gorilla Glue I am using, and it does dry super fast, so you want to keep moving once you add it to your petal. And we'll need one more for layer 2. Okay. And now we're going to add our third layer. So here you can go all the way up to where your ribbon is. And again, we're going to just add glue down the entire petal. And I'm going to go in between and go all the way up to where my ribbon is. So you just need 3 layers. And we're just going to make sure we're covering up all the styrofoam. So I always overlap my last petal. And you can see I'm going right up to the top. So we're essentially making a snowball using individual petals cut off of our mini flower template. Again, right up to where the ribbon is, and then press. Ooh. Hot glue burns, so be careful. And just take it right up to where your ribbon is. These are pretty just if you did it like this in any color. Lots of possibilities, right? So pretty. Almost like icicles. We're coming around, just a few more. Then we get to attach the hat. So again, make sure you're going right up to that ribbon area. Even though you don't see it, I like to make sure, because I am selling these, so I want to make sure I cover all my styrofoam. So I go down one side, just like kind of how we were shaping the petal. That's how I add my glue. Now it's completely covered. The next step will be to add our hat. So this already has a ribbon on it. And again, if you didn't like this color ribbon, you could definitely change it to the one that you're using here, add a complementary one, whatever color you want. So make sure that your where the glue, now you can cover that. So it depends how you want to do it. If you don't mind that in the back where it be hidden when it's hanging from the tree, or you can use that and we would add our decoration there and hide it that way, which you can do that as well. So either or. But what we need to do is slice a hole. Oops, oh goodness. Getting the styrofoam little pieces off of here. We need to slice a hole in the top of our hat to get that ribbon through. So this is the most difficult part. I'm using an X-Acto blade, and I just literally just make a slit in the center. So that way we can pop our ribbon through. So you can see it down there. So now we want to make sure where are we going to put our face and decorate him. So if you want it to hang, it depends how you want the ribbon to hang. Like if you want it sideways like that, we want to make sure if we're gonna, I'm gonna put mine in the back and this will be my front. So I need to put my ribbon through like this. And again, this is the most difficult part. What I found, what I was using was a piece of floral wire to try and push it through where our slit is. Look how cute he is. It's like a cowboy hat. Now, I did add glue to my first one, and I am going to do it real quick. It's super hard, so just be careful. Try and go in on the inside. And then just pull the ribbon through and press it on. Only want to make sure our glue strings are off of there. So that way you don't see any of the glue. And now it's time to decorate it and add your face. So you can add any type of face. I do provide the one that I purchased on Snowman face from Cricut Design Space, but you can easily, this is a 1/2 inch circle. So, and the one that I purchased had eyelashes, which I'm going to make a few girls. I just thought with this type of a hat, I wanted to make these more male. So for a woman's snowman, I'm going to make some earmuffs with pom-poms, but I do need to get them, and I'll show you that when I have it. So this is just a 1/2 inch black circle. So now that we know where our center spot is, we can add our eyes. And then I just use craft glue to attach this. So I like to use Barely Arts craft glue. You could draw your eyes on. You can use vinyl, whichever you prefer. So now just let's make sure it's in the center. And have fun with the face. You can make any type of face. You can purchase a file. I do not provide that. I'm just using a 3-inch embroidery hoop I have for a craft project. It kind of holds my snowball in place. Then I like to add my carrot. So whether you want the nose pointed up, pointed down, I add glue just to a portion of it. You can ink it, you can shape it. We could shape it a little bit. I didn't think of that. To shape it, you can use your flower shaping mat. And again, just go over it. so it has some shape. Okay, and then for the mouth, it is just 7 little circles here. So I do have them cut as well. So I put the first one because then there'll be 3 on each side. He's cute. Well, you could do just a bigger one. He's like, oh. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, and then we'll just work our way up the right side. So this is like his coal mouth. So it's just 7 of the little circles. Now the little circles did come with my snowman file. The face that I purchased and the hat. Not this hat, but like a paper hat. If you like to use tweezers for the little pieces, go right ahead. I'm not very good with that. My fingernails are a hot mess anyway, so. Okay, so now we'll just come up with our next 3 dots, and then you can decorate your hat. I try and get it as even as possible with my little circles, but, and you know, we're human. Now, since we are paper florists or makers, I am going to use a paper flower. For his band. Now, I cut a small Cosmos mini flower. So, and I'll include that on the instruction document, but you could do a small peony, but these are like 1 1/4 inches. So it's super small, allows us enough to put a little paper flower on there. And I just used my metal ball stylus tool and in a circular motion shape the petal. We keep it super easy and quick. And I'm just using red paper by Recollections from Michael's store. And then I already rolled my center, and I did cut a little sepal, even though you really don't see it. We're going to add a dab of hot glue on the back. And you can roll the centers. And then alternately place each layer. But you can use any flower. You can use an artificial flower, greenery, your choice. Now to assemble the flower and add the decoration to his hat, I am going to use hot glue. And then I just use my metal ball stylus to make sure it's secure there. And then I did roll the center and glue them. I already had them done. Super easy and simple. So, I mean, it all depends which side you want it on. And then for the steeple, I just add a dab of hot glue. And now we get to decorate our snowman. We like to call him Frosty. Now for my first one, I did use a pine cone. So these are the mini pine cones. I just used these. And then I also used, again, my paper leaves. So I do add, and again, however you want to decorate your hat is totally up to you. I like the combo of the artificial greenery and my paper leaves. So I am using my Christmas leaf bundle to find my bag. So I just keep a large bag of cut leaves. And each snowman will be different, so depending what colors you use, you can add some ink. So I do leave a piece of scrap paper here. And then you just start gluing and decorating. I'm not super particular how I do it. Like I said, each one is different. So add your glue. And then we'll add our greenery. So I'm just going to go over my paper ones. Oops. I like to use forest moss. Now you can use any color just to add a little bit. I was just doing it on these. I normally don't on some projects, but I liked it with this. And then I just separate. Like I said, each one is different. And I'll show you my first one I made. Depending what style leaves you're using, that's what's fun. Yeah, I could spend hours just doing the decorating part. And I don't like the lighter with it. We're just going to keep our color similar. And I'm just shading. Sorry if I went off camera. You can tell when I'm thinking I go quiet. That's part of the creative process. All right, so we're going to add our flower in. Oops. Yes, you can use any type of flower. Poinsettia. I like the Cosmo one because it is little. And they're quick and easy to make. Christmassy in the gold shimmer. I'm going to change my shape. Generous amount of hot glue on your pine cone. But again, you can use whatever you have in your stash. I just have a bunch of mini pine cones. And then you can add a jingle bell. I did that. So maybe I will do that. Or I have some mini flowers. No. Those are cricket rolled flowers. You can add berries. So I'm just looking around. So we'll do a red jingle bell. So we like to do an odd number of items like a flower, the pine cone, and the bell, and then keep adding in layers for your greenery. Whether it's paper, the artificial, a combo. Again, I could go on and on and on. I need another paper one in there, I think. So there, I just put it on the tip. And hopefully you can get it in there so it sticks out. Just again looking through my stuff. Does need one more for sure. I'm going to snip off the end. I tear it off a lot of times. And again, I just want it on the tip. So again, have some fun with it, and each one of yours will be different, just like mine, depending on what leaves you use. So what I like to do is always cut a whole bunch of leaves so that way I have them. So like you saw, I have my big plastic bag full of Christmas leaves. And you just go in there, and I keep a variety of colors. And always make sure you twist the pines to make it a little bit more realistic. And again, I'm going to just put it on the tip here so I can insert it in between two of the items, and it'll grab onto something. Just like that. So he's super cute. So thank you for watching. So I created a second snowman ball. So pretty, all in white. And I took my top layer around my ribbon. So you're going to cut a much smaller piece of ribbon at 6 3/4 inches. And I'll add the dimensions for everything either in the item description or at the beginning of this video. All right, so we are going to go ahead, and we want to make sure where we're going to add our face. So if we're hanging it on our tree, so I'm just going to use this as my stand. And now we're going to add our girl lashes. So I'm going to use my craft glue, and then we're also going to style our carrot. So I'm just going to use my metal ball stylus to shape my carrot a little bit. And I got a set of pom-poms, or actually a bag of pom-poms from Dollar Tree. So I did have to buy 2 bags in order to get 2 red. So I figure I can make another one. I have 2 of the larger green And if you want to do blue, the pink, and there are white ones in there as well. So I thought red would be super cute as her earmuffs. And this is 12 gauge bead wire, so I do get this on Amazon, and it bends super easy, so that's going to be for her earmuffs. So first we're going to attach her face, so we're going to use our Bearly Arts craft glue. Now I did purchase my snowman face on from Cricut Design Space, but you can use any lashes. I'll make sure I have where my finger was. So just keep in mind that we're going to be adding the pom-poms for her. Oh, she's so cute. I did use the same ribbon for her, so if somebody would purchase her as a set, they would match with the ribbon. I never do anything straight. And then do you like her nose to go? This time I'm going to have it so it's pointing out. And then we're going to use the same dots, 7 dots that we did for our snowman. So 3, 4, 5. So again, we're going to attach the middle one. Super cute if she just has that expression. And we're just attaching them however you want to. Now you could use vinyl, whichever you prefer. I figured these weren't too small of pieces, so I could use paper. And then one more. They all have their own personality, and that's what's so much fun. Okay, so now we're going to take our wires. We don't need a large piece. We just need enough to go around for her. So if you figure about halfway down, and it's super easy to bend. So it's easier if you just, I can give you a measurement, but I think it's best if you eyeball it. You could use anything, any kind of wire, floral stem wire. You could wrap it however you want. I'm just giving you a suggestion. And I am going to glue this first, and I didn't want to straighten it out because I like that it has the curve already. So I'm going to use my hot glue. I am going to put, I think a little circle over it just to make sure it's secure, because you won't see it when we add the pom-pom. Just watch your fingers. I am going to put my fingers on the hot glue. And I'm just going to cut a very small, punch a small circle. So I'm going to use my paper punch, and I think 3/4 of an inch should be good. And I'm going to use red paper because we're using red pom-poms. You could also use white if you wanted to hide it as well. So I'm just going to take my scrap paper. I went in the recycling bin. So it's just another way that if you wanted to make a girl one, what you could do to decorate it instead of using the hat. So I'm going to add hot glue. And then I'm just going to add a generous amount of glue. In that general area. Now my glue did seep out. Oh my god, how cute. Oh, she makes me smile. Again, I like that they're a little flat because they are earmuffs, so we want it flat against her head, and then we can poof it out a little. And there you have the girl version. So you can do the boy. So I have made 2 boys so far. and a girl. Thank you for watching.